Residential Design and Build Video Network, in conjunction with Powerhouse Advisors, presents the Powerhouse Marketing Series.
Hello, I'm Wendy Cohen, President of Powerhouse Advisors, and we're here to discuss smart Powerhouse marketing tips. Our topic this week is establishing marketing goals so that when you do decide to invest in your marketing, which I certainly hope you do on a consistent basis, that you're really measuring and you're establishing a precedent for what it is that works for you in growing your business. And actually, some of our clients aren't necessarily looking to expand their business in a huge way, but they are looking to improve their business and become more profitable and to grow as individuals and to grow their employees and to be more satisfied with their lot in life. So in establishing your marketing goals, the first thing that I recommend that you do is review where you've been. So, kind of the old saying of where have I been, and where am I going, and how am I going to get there? Well, where have you been in the past? I would take the last 12 months as a good indication, although the market is changing. Obviously, we're coming off of a very difficult time. So actually taking a 1 year, 3 year, and a 5 year history certainly could be of value to you. And if you aren't currently tracking, which we find a lot of our clients, even those that are very successful in what they do, hadn't been really diligent about tracking where they've been in the sense of what has worked for them in their marketing in the past. And it's kind of starting a whole new arena for them. So if you're not currently tracking, I recommend that you start with really understanding the leads that are coming into you. And at first, they're really not leads, they're just inquiries. So sometimes people call them prospects or just initial inquiries or call-ins or drop-bys or whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's that pool of people who are interested in learning more about your company but may or may not be in the buying mode in the near future, maybe long term. And then from those particular group of people, those prospects, if you want to call them for this video series, how many of them actually turn into leads, where you actually get an opportunity to really learn more about them and really understand what their goals are as far as timing, their budget, and what is important to them as far as what services you can provide for them. And then once you get them to the point where you can establish that, you can kind of qualify them. Are they A, B, and C leads? Meaning A is maybe 0 to 12 months. They're really ready to start embarking on serious discussions. Maybe B lead might be 12 to 24 months, and a C lead might be 24 months and beyond. And keep in mind that even if somebody isn't an A, B, or C, they may be an excellent ambassador, and so you still want to keep them in your database. So we want to start tracking where your prospects are coming from, if they in fact turn into a lead, and then when they turn into a lead, can you actually turn them into a sales appointment, an initial sales meeting, where you actually seriously sit down, maybe establish or discuss a budget and talk about land or look at something that they currently have, like their own existing home, or talk about a project that they want. From that, then you want to track your conversions. So how many of those prospects turned into leads, turned into initial sales meetings that turned into actually clients, or they were actually converted to become a client. So if you do that, then you can kind of start to see where your business is coming from, especially if you take now those prospects and those leads and those clients, the people that you've actually converted, and you figure out how they came to you. And sometimes it's not only one source, but so you need to mark whatever additional sources. So if they came from the website and they were also referred by a realtor, and they also had driven by one of the houses that you built in their neighborhood and saw your sign, that's okay. You need to mark down all the different ways they came to you. From that, then you need to really analyze how they came to you, from what source of marketing did they come from you. Again, signs, advertising, realtors, event marketing, website, public relations, there's many different sources. And then you can also track geographically. Did they come from the community that they currently live in, or did they come from outside of that area? So tracking will help you establish where you're coming from. Now you need to figure out, where are you going? So what are your goals? What do you want to do in the next 12 months? What do you want to do midterm, which might be 24 to 48 months, and then long term. I mean, what vision do you have for your company in the long run? So from that, you can sit down and figure out, okay, now I know where I was, I know where I am now, I know what worked and what didn't work. Now I need to figure out how that might be different in today's market with today's consumer. And this might be where if you don't currently have a marketing expert or an outside objective party, you might want to invest in bringing someone in to really help you analyze that information. In addition to analyzing your past, that information that we just talked about, they should really help bring to light what's going on with the competition. You might have a gut reaction as to the direct competitors that you work with, but someone from the outside can really give you insight as to people that might be talked to in addition to you when somebody's embarking on a project. So with that, you're evaluating your branding strategy, because really what you're doing is you're evaluating the competition, you're evaluating your clients, your past clients, where they came from, and your prospects, and you're also evaluating yourself as a company. How is your company operating, and your employees, and your culture, and what products do you deliver, and what niche market that might be. So really what I'm talking about is establishing a baseline so you can really sit down and develop a strategy and a marketing plan, and that marketing plan can help you establish marketing goals. So your marketing plan would be what I want to do to accomplish the volume that we just talked about, and the budget that's associated with that. Then those goals might be, well, if I know I need to talk to 25 people in a quarter, and that might be 50 people who call in, of which 25 become leads, of which so many become actual initial sales meetings, of which so many get converted. That helps me reach my revenue, assuming your average sale might be XYZ. So that's a goal. So that would be what I would call a short-term or a short-term goal. When we sit down and do a marketing plan with a client, we do short-term goals, we do medium-term goals, and we do long-term goals. And I'm sure you can envision, if we start with from the big picture and go and drill down, long term would be, where do I expect to see my company in 3 to 5 years? It's kind of hard to think past that. Sometimes we can get to that point. And that's where branding and visibility and exposure come into play. And that should be part of your marketing plan, even though branding, most people say, I really don't have the money to spend on branding. I really need to spend my money on direct tactics that yield me immediate sales. The truth is, if you have a long-term plan, and I'm sure you all really want to be in business for the long run, even if it means an exit strategy so you can sell your business and it has value, you really need to do some branding all year long, and it doesn't have to be expensive branding, but that would be more of a long-term goal. A medium-term goal might be relationship marketing, because you don't build relationships in 1 month or 6 months. Often it takes a year or longer. Relationship marketing, and we do, sometimes some of our clients just have us do relationship marketing with them. And that might be, we target certain groups of people and we come up with a plan to develop relationships. So it could be realtors, it could be past clients, it could be certain professionals, such as a group of what we call dream team professionals who they want to establish a relationship with to get reciprocal referrals. So medium-term goals might be relationship marketing, and that'll be part of your marketing plan. And then short-term goals is usually what all of I know most people think about is lead generation. I want to get a prospect right now. I want to make a sale right now. And certainly, if there was a silver bullet out there, we'd all be marksmen. But there's a lot of different things that contribute to a marketing plan that will help you get that lead generation. And so you'll sitting down, developing the marketing plan, developing the budget, and setting goals on a quarterly basis, and then going back and finding out how those tactics actually help you be successful in those quarterly goals. Another short-term goal that we often talk about but you don't think of is marketing, and it really is your company culture. It's really short-term, medium-term, and long-term, because your company culture and your employees and the people you surround yourself with, your business associates who you do business with on a consistent basis, is really your culture. And your culture can help you generate prospects, because that could be a good source of referrals. But enveloping or improving or working on your company culture is really part of your marketing plan. And that, to me, is an ongoing, every day, it's a short-term goal to constantly be working on that. So this is just a snapshot of establishing your marketing goals. For more information or more details, please visit our website at powerhouseadvisors.com. Click through to powerhousesmart.com for our blog, and this discussion and many other discussions will hopefully enlighten you and share some good insight. So thank you very much for your time.